Special United Nations Ambassador Gerald Sengyumba. Here is part 8 of UN Peacekeeping Operations with my review series. The Security Council and the establishment of UN Peacekeeping different mandates. The legitimacy and authority of any peacekeeping operation derives from the Security Council's approval and support. The authority provided by the Security Council also requires that all member states respect and support the implementation of the operation's mandate. Member states may provide troops, police, and other resources to peace operations in recognition of the important role played by UN peacekeeping operations in maintaining international peace and security. The support of the Security Council is necessary throughout the life cycle of the operation. The Council usually approves extensions of an operation's mandate until it believes that the mission has accomplished its objectives or is no longer needed. There are member states that provide troops, police, and other resources. A mandate of the peace operation is the legal basis for all activities that peace operations undertake, including the use of force. Mandates are carefully crafted and negotiated by the members of the Security Council based on Secretary General's recommendations. What about recommendations of the Secretary General? The Secretary General advises and recommends on the deployment or mandate of a peacekeeping operation. Throughout the life of a mission, the Secretary General can recommend modifications to the mandate of the peace operation according to the situation on the ground. Those changes in the mandate may also affect the number of personnel and mission's structure and duration. Role of the Security Council. The Security Council responds to crises on a case-by-case basis, taking into consideration different options. In order to respond with flexibility to a wide range of circumstances, it may take the following points into account. Is there a threat to the international peace and security? Are there existing regional or sub-regional arrangements able to assist in resolving the situation? Is there a ceasefire in place? Are parties committed to a peace process? Mandate tasks for UN peacekeeping operations. Security Council mandates reflect the cross-cutting thematic tasks assigned to UN peacekeeping. The mandate tasks for UN peacekeeping operations are contained in Security Council resolutions adopted to the particular conflict, situation, and existing peace agreements. They reflect other Security Council resolutions on issues related to the protection of women, children, and civilians in armed conflict. Examples of landmark Security Council resolutions affecting UN peacekeeping operations mandate include UN Security Council 1325 of 2000 on Women, Peace and Security, UN Security Council Resolution 1612 of 2005 on Children and Armed Conflict, UN Security Council Resolution 1674 of 2006 on the protection of civilians in armed conflict. Then another lesson is about legal framework of peacekeeping operations. Specific legal documents of the UN, its field missions, and the international legal framework. Although the UN and its field missions may have specific legal documents, it's important to remember that peacekeeping operation is set against the international legal framework provided by international law. Key points on international law regulates the legal relationship between states and between states and individuals, grants specific rights to individuals. Then there are treaties, then there are customary international law, then there are imposed duties and obligations on states, individuals, and groups. Primary sources of international law: treaties. That is one of the sources of international law. Treaties are legally binding instruments by which governments can be held accountable. International treaties have different designations such as covenants, charters, protocols, conventions, accords, agreements. A state can become a party to a treaty by ratification, accession, or succession. Customary international law. Customary international law are rules that come from a general practice accepted as law and that exist independent of treaty law. For example, while the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is not in itself a binding treaty, some of its provisions have the character of customary international law. Slavery, extrajudicial killing, torture, prolonged arbitrary detention, genocide are examples of customary international law that are also covered by formal international laws. UN peacekeeping operations are subject to the norms and standards of the international law. Many international treaties and conventions have a direct bearing on either the status of a peace operation, its personnel, or the activities that it conducts in a mission area. Areas of international law relevant to peacekeeping operation. There is international humanitarian law, international human rights law, international refugee law, and treaties and conventions. Thank you very much for listening.